So the Giants approached us to do full creative for Giants 100, which is a celebration of their 100th season. That included the brand style guide, capturing it on Media Day and all the in-game assets, as well as a jersey reveal video and a video called the Giants 100 launch video that kicks off the entire season.
We wanted someone that could really take our vision and bring it to life in a very high-end way. From the first time we met everybody, we knew that these were the people, these were the folks that would be able to take our ideas, our vision, and really capture it and bring it to life.
We knew that in order to do this right, we really had to pull out all the stops. We wanted to make this as special as it could possibly be. So it became this idea, well, there's layers of everything, right? When you walk down the street and you see, like an ad on the wall and part of it's torn up, the thing that you see behind it is another ad. And if you were to peel that, there'd be another ad behind that. And you think about some of the big buildings that were built on top of older buildings, and there's just layer upon layer upon layer, and everything has a story. And one of the things that we talk about in this campaign is that, every New Yorker has a Giants story, whether you're a Giants fan or not. And being able to tie that together was a really important part of launching this campaign and making this into what it needed to be to celebrate 100 seasons.
How do you capture the feeling of 100 years in 2 minutes? It's challenging.
This is our moment.
So it was really identifying a narrative and a storyline for people to connect with. And so we introduce our narrator, who kind of guides the viewer on this journey through historical plays, big moments in the NFL, and this was a story about family and a generational story.
We got a chance to shoot around that city, specifically in Brooklyn, across a 2-day production. And so even being in there in person, the sights, the sounds, it's just different in New York.
There was 100 years of footage that we had to cull through. There was radio calls and newspapers and media flyers and posters and memorabilia and everything. Like, people have been collecting things for decades. So trying to find all these things that, one video or one call or one play that represents an era was really challenging, but also really fulfilling to see just how much of it there really was. And that really speaks to the legacy of what the New York Football Giants are.
This is a Giant story. 100 years in the making.
Giants Media Day was super exciting for us. When you've got guys in there with their visors, with their helmets, it just lends itself so well to the reflections of the LED wall. And normally we have about 5 minutes with these players. So there's a whole process that I have to go through every time when the players come in and try to get them in that headspace of like, this is a hype video. So trying to get them as excited about the set as possible, because then that leads to great performances.
So when we're approaching our Media Day creative, we're always envisioning the fan experience at the game. And so we want to just try to create ideas that'll play to the overall fan experience and think about the run of show and how things are actually going to flow with our content. Trying to know how it's going to operate on the game day and what we can bring to the table on Media Day is always fun to ideate on.
All of the work that I put into and all the work that the creative team has put into comes together and shows itself on Media Day.
We had a plan to do the jersey reveal on Media Day, and the Giants called us and they're like, hey, the jersey leaked. This was probably a month before our intended shoot day on Media Day. So instead of a month, I think we basically had a week or two to bring it all together. It worked out great where we were able to find us all, bring the jersey down to the volume at our studio here in Tampa, and still keep that storyline intact.
We took 3 seasons of Giants uniforms. In 1925, it's the tan pants, which is unbelievably unique and has a story in itself. In 1933, it's the jersey itself, and then the helmet is from 1938 and on.
There are certain times in the shop where it's really surreal. And I remember when I got to the practice field, I had to stop for a second, take it all in, and I took a photo and sent it to my dad. And it's moments like that where you know, you kind of have to pinch yourself because we're working with such a legendary organization like the New York Giants.
Even as a New Yorker, I grew up here myself. I saw 4 decades of this with my own eyes, and it still is impressive to go and look at how many things you have actually witnessed as a fan or as a person just being in the vicinity of the New York Giants.
The New York Giants know their brand the most, and so we were able to take their knowledge of 100 years of New York Giants football to what we think is going to resonate most with their fans from a visual storytelling standpoint. And so it's been a really rewarding partnership, and we're really excited about the final product that the fans, the entire league, get to see.